All right, I think we are live. Hi, this is 𝕊𝕍𝕉𝔹𝕊ℂ𝐻𝕸𝕉 with 𝕊𝕇𝕠𝕟𝕟𝕉 Realty, powered by eXp Realty here in Asheville, North Carolina. And today I'm not by myself. I brought in, come on, scoot over closer to me so that you'll be in the
and I have the
in camera. I brought in the North Asheville and towns north of Asheville expert with me, Michelle Turner, who is also happened to be working with me with us on our team. If anybody is watching and could give us any kind of feedback on the sound, okay. Let us know how we sound because we try to use microphones. So let us know. Looking good. How do we sound, Alexi? Do we sound good?
Do we have a good sound?
Because I know that one of the feedbacks that I got last time.
Well, I have to say the light's really low on the sound, so it might.
So we need to speak up.
Speak up.
Fantastic. He said fantastic. I don't know. So we'll trust him. Anybody else, if the sound is not good, just let us know. Sounds good? Great. Thank you, Julian. All right. So I wanted to bring Michelle in because, like I said, she lives in Weaverville, which is one of the towns north of Asheville, and she specializes more in towns north of Asheville. She will be able to give more information about some of the things that I haven't had a chance. They did not fit into that almost 30-minute video. And just gonna answer questions. I know we already had one question from somebody. And yeah, so we'll just chat about towns north of Asheville. But if anybody has any question about anything else, about living in Asheville, breathing Asheville and Asheville area, just put it out there, put it in the comments, and we'll be sure to answer those questions. And by the way, somebody who are watching this video, or somebody who is watching me and is subscribed to this channel, I know some of you already had a pleasure talking and communicating with Michelle when contacting our team to, about relocation and stuff like that. So this is she. This is what she looks like. Do you want to give your phone number?
Sure.
Just in case somebody else, or if anybody wants to hit her up directly, this is your phone. This is your phone number.
You can call my cell phone or text me if it's easier for you. It's 828-365-6500.
You got it? Okay, we'll repeat it again at the end of the video. All right. So in my latest video, I went over Weaverville, which, like I said, that's where Michelle lives. Marshall, Mars Hill, Hot Springs, Burnsville, and Spruce Pine. So Michelle lives in Weaverville, and she kind of goes more to all those other towns than I do. And I know I mentioned few things about festivals and how all those small towns have their own festivals, maybe not as known or big as some of the festivals we have in Asheville, but they're still very unique, kind of community centered. Do you want to share a little bit more about? I know there's one festival, the Mermaid Festival.
The Mermaid Festival in Marshall is probably the biggest one for the north.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun for everybody. Kids love it because they love to come and dress up. Adults love it because we like to dress up or watch the other costumes go by, and you can sit and have a beer and watch the parade.
Summer?
Yeah, it's summertime. It's in July.
Mm-hmm. Why is it called Mermaid? Do you know? Or what's the deal with that?
Marshall is a very art-centric town.
Mm-hmm.
They have an island called, I know I'm going to say it's, wait a minute.
They have an island?
There's an island. And if I say it wrong, I'm sorry, but it's 𝕊𝕍𝕍𝕍 Island.
Mm-hmm.
It has an old building on it that's been a number of things. I think it was a prison, it was a school, it was government offices, and now artists use it for their space. Mm-hmm. And so they'll have little festivals on the island on Sundays They even do like a fresh market there where farmers can bring their produce to sell.
So it totally sounds like mini Asheville to me.
Yeah, Marshall is really geared towards artists. They are a pretty liberal, tiny mountain town for what you would think of a liberal town. They actually, well, you know, like Burnsville is kind of a town trapped in amber in that it is kind of a very Mayberry, Norman Rockwell town where it has the town center and they do their little festivals in the town square and that kind of thing, where Marshall is very art centric. They even renamed the town after the first Black Supreme Court justice.
Oh, I did not know that.
So, you know, it's a cute town. It's one of my favorite towns. It's tiny, but it has a lot going for it, and more places are opening up there all the time.
So Marshall is the one with this. The downtown it's pretty big, but it's really
wedged
tiny.
Between a mountain and a river.
Right, and there's a railroad in between. So the setting is very beautiful, but there's really, it's tiny. Somebody asked, and I think it was a question about the place in Marshall, right?
Yeah, about Bacchus, which Bacchus hasn't been there in a great number of years. It is now Main Street Cafe, which I've gone there for breakfast. It's got a cute little courtyard and back. So in spring and summertime, or spring and fall, you know, I like to sit back there and have breakfast.
So somebody asked about if I remember the place named Bacchus Bistro in Marshall. I don't.
Right. It hasn't been there in a long time.
So it just hasn't
over 11 years. It's been gone.
So would you recommend it, or any other places you recommend for as dining options?
Yeah, there's some great restaurants there. So there you probably want to go. If I'm in Weaverville, Stony Knob is my favorite place to go. Great dinner. You definitely want a reservation. Only thing
very eclectic.
The only thing they don't take reservations for is Sunday brunch. It has been in business in the same family since 1962.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The mom and dad started it, and now the two sons run it.
Okay.
So it's still in the family business, and I've never had a bad meal there. If you're in Marshall, there is a great pizza place, Madison County Pizza. It's like Madison County Brew House. They do pizza and beer. Remember, Madison County is a dry county, so you can get beer and wine. You used to not be able to get anything alcoholic, but now you can get beer and wine, but don't expect to go there and get a cocktail.
So that's something I think I omitted in my video, where I didn't really focus on the fact that past Weaverville, all those other towns to the left on the map, as you turn left towards Mars Hill, Marshall, Hot Springs, they are actually in a different county.
Right, Madison County.
They're in Madison County, and Madison County is a dry county. Yes, we still have dry counties here in West North Carolina, but beer is huge in the region, as everyone knows, and it kind of spreads out everywhere. Breweries and microbreweries, craft breweries. So it's happening. It's everywhere. And another thing that is also kind of spreading out and is similar to what we have in Asheville is local stuff. There are some chain restaurants, like some well-known places like fast food restaurants, but all these places have some local places to eat, drink, coffee that just amazing. You would not need to go anywhere else. There's other options like this Bacchus. What's the name? What's the name of it now again?
Bacchus is now Main Street Cafe.
Main Street Cafe. I'm gonna put, once we're done, I'm gonna put some of the names of those places that we're talking about right now in the description, so that anybody will have a chance to not have to rewind this alone video, but go back and look at them.
I'm planning on going ahead and putting a lot of these in a blog post, and then I can share you the link so that then they can just go to a page and see all of the restaurants and stuff. And maybe not on the same page, I'll do another one listing all the festivals.
Somebody said that Bacchus was amazing. I used to work there. Did you used to live there, or do you still live there? I wonder. All right, so Weaverville, it's Stony Knob Cafe. I actually been there.
Yeah.
It's a very eclectic, local, fun little place. It doesn't look like much from the road. It's close. It's very close to the exit, but it's fun. I mean, and you need to go there and see what I mean by fun. I mean, it's a fun place. And then Marshall, we covered Marshall, Mars Hill.
Well, Marshall, there's also a must to go to is the Old Marshall Jail. The Old Marshall Jail is now also a hotel upstairs, a small boutique hotel. Downstairs, you can get beer. And then you can also order from, what's it called? Zadie's Market. And they'll serve the food, but the food doesn't come from that bar itself. It comes from right next door. And that's where you sit and eat. And you can sit on the river and eat. And if you're looking for a fine dining restaurant to go to, the chef that used to be the chef at Tupelo Honey downtown Asheville has Red Star Cafe. So,
and a great coffee place in Marshall is, I think it's called Zuma. It's right there on the corner.
Yeah.
Pretty big place, right there, like you can't miss it. I included some footage in my actual video from it. So local place, no need to. I don't even know if they have any Starbucks. Like Starbucks will not survive there.
No, everything in Marshall is local. Mars Hill has, some fast like Bojangles and that kind of thing, but not Marshall. It's too tiny.
Yeah. So Marshall is arts and crafts, artists type of town, has a very good scenery, a very beautiful setting because it's right on the river. Now, Mars Hill is, like I said in the video, is a university town. It's a little bigger. I feel like it's because it's a student town. That's where they get their population. But anything about Mars Hill you have insight?
Mars Hill, I haven't. Again, my favorite is going to Marshall. But I have heard good things about Rio Mexican restaurant. It's a first generation. The guy that owns it and is the chef there, first generation from Central Mexico, and so it's supposed to be really good.
Cool. Yeah. So I talked to somebody at a visitor center in Mars Hill, and they kind of turned their nose up when I asked about Marshall, and they sounded like they are the last town, north of Asheville where and the civilization just stops there. And you don't even waste your time. We actually have Ingles and CVS pharmacy. I was like, oh, good to know. But it's, again, people do not move to these towns to be able to hop an Uber and go to downtown or DoorDash their sushi from their favorite restaurant. They go for different reasons.
Well, and Marshall has an Ingles too. So don't let the people in Mars Hill, take all the credit for having a grocery store.
Yeah. But now moving even more north and kind of northeast, Hot Springs, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Although they do have a festival too.
Yeah, but I have heard talk that they are going to stop doing the festival because it got so big.
Really?
And the town is so tiny that I heard that last year was the last year they were going to do the French Broad River Festival. Because it really was. You could try it, a year in advance to get a camping spot because the campground's so small. And you had to know somebody that was working the front desk to even save you a spot to camp,
So to put it in perspective, and the reason she's mentioning camping spots is to be able to comfortably visit that festival in Hot Springs. You would either want to stay in Hot Springs or drive like, what is it, an hour from Asheville, or maybe Mars Hill or Marshall, a little less, but still it's a good drive. It's so small that
it's windy to get back there. So getting in there, it takes a lot longer.
But there's also not a lot of options to stay. I mean, they don't have a hotel. They don't have Hilton or, well,
they have the Hot Springs Hotel, but it's small. It doesn't have a lot of rooms. And then you have camping. But it's the thoroughfare of the ATV, which is why people go through there. Right. They also have no cell service. There's like one company, I had to go, a nice man at the general store let me use his phone because my phone wouldn't get service. And he said it was like this, you could get Motorola and that was it. It was something weird like that. But it's a town of 500 people. So they don't care.
Well, when we went there, it did seem like time just stopped.
Yeah, you need a landline.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not even surprised about the phone. It's the time stopped. It was so quiet. It was like from the movies. I felt like I came into the movie when I moved to the United States in 2004. Everything felt like a movie. I just found myself in the movie. But now going to Hot Springs, I'm sure a lot of you who are watching, who are coming from not even big cities, small cities or big towns like Asheville, it would feel like you were in the movie.
Yeah.
Of like a past.
Yeah.
About
definitely.
the past.
Yeah.
It was surreal. But it's nice and quiet, and that's the draw for some people. Thoughts on Barnardsville. We'll mention that as we kind of start talking about the, eastern part of the northern towns. So yeah, Hot Springs is interesting. I actually have a couple of lots for sale there in one of the communities. I don't think they're ever going to sell. They're super cheap, but it's like, who's going to want to live there?
Yeah, you have to be happy with being cut off from the digital world because there's not really internet. There's not really cell phone service. You don't really have, you're closed in. They are, Duke, I believe is in the process of running a whole new system just under Hot Springs to allow them to have power when they get cut off from power, because there's no other way to help the town get power during a winter storm if they get cut off.
Oh,
so they're doing some kind of, I want to say like an underground water system type of energy. I was just reading about it this morning.
So that community where I have a couple lots for sale, they made a deal, I think it was like 20 years ago, energy company where they have underground power. And in the middle of nowhere. Nobody wants to live there, or barely anybody. I mean, they have houses, but they also have a lot of vacant lots. And surprisingly, they have underground power. Well, of course, the power company is losing money on them because the community is not sold out. Anyways, all right. So let's move, just like I did in the video. So we move kind of up on the map from Asheville. We hit Weaverville, Mars Hill, Marshall, Hot Springs. I guess if you're watching from here, it's going to be this way. Now we're going to go east, right?
Burnsville.
But before we hit Burnsville, let's talk about Barnardsville, because that's the question we got. So Barnardsville does not have downtown. That's why I never mentioned it in my video. It's one of those areas. I mean, you drive from Weaverville to Burnsville or Mars Hill, and you just hit Barnardsville. Is that
Barnardsville kind of flanks? Barnardsville and Alexander flank either side of Weaverville. They're both a little up and then out. And if here's Weaverville, here's Barnardsville, here's Alexander. And the way everything runs together here, you know, Alexander runs into Woodfin, which runs into Leicester. Barnardsville, it's just Weaverville to Barnardsville. And then, you know, you can go back up and be in Burnsville.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have town centers, but I like to tell people about them because they're really close to Weaverville. And again, not many people know the names Barnardsville and Alexander. So a lot of times you can find some really great properties there.
Right. Again, you wouldn't necessarily know that you're driving through it, like through the area to the next town or whatever next destination. You wouldn't even know that you're in.
Right.
Now I'm in Barnardsville. There's not going to be a big sign or anything
Mhm.
like that. You just properties that are there, they just change the address and that's it. It's technicality more than anything else. Excuse me. So no downtown, no town center. I had actually clients who bought a property in Barnardsville, super close to Weaverville. So
Right.
depending again on where in Barnardsville or where anywhere you can be, you can be what I would say 10 minutes to downtown Weaverville.
Yeah.
Maybe even less.
You kind of think of Barnardsville and Alexander as being suburbs of Weaverville,
Mm-hmm.
just like you think of Woodfin being like a suburb of Asheville.
And again, people who are listening from big cities, suburb,
Right.
it's not
Right.
It's not
neighborhood suburb.
Right. Not
Suburb for these towns. Suburb for North Carolina.
Right. It does not feel like a suburb,
Mm-mm.
like in the true sense when people, I don't want to live in suburbs. That's not what it means. It's very rural,
Mhm.
country, like it is just farms, maybe some occasional subdivisions, but nothing suburby.
No. There's nothing very suburby once you leave outside of Asheville.
Hey everyone, Savannah, hey girl. Is there any mobile home parks near Asheville where you own the land? We want to retire down there. Western North Carolina is the land of mobile home parks. And I think I talked about it many different times because that's kind of, I want to set expectations about the area. We have a lot of open use land. Open use is great on paper, right? Because you can do whatever you want. It means your neighbors can do whatever they want. So you can have a mansion up on top of the mountain, and you might have to drive through a trailer park or mobile home park. Again, nothing against trailer parks, mobile home parks. In fact, they are probably the last bit of affordable living in the area, especially in Asheville, closer to the center. So yes, we have mobile home parks. Some people do own land. It just varies. It's really a hodgepodge of how things are done in terms of zoning, planning. Our departments are kind of, I guess they didn't set it up everything straight from the beginning. And now it just kind of like a snowball. It just builds on top of, bad decisions made by planning and zoning department. So yes, we have a lot of mobile home parks. We'll have a ton of just standalone mobile homes.
Right. If you wanted to own your own land in a mobile home, your best bet is to buy a mobile home on its land by itself, or to buy a piece of land to put your mobile home on,
right,
rather than a mobile home park.
New to the area for future home appreciation is the Smart Buy in Mills River, Hendersonville, Flat Rock, which is up and coming. Up and coming. Mills River, I think, is up and coming. It's sort of, I would say it's a bedroom neighborhood of Asheville. A lot of people live there, commute to Asheville or Hendersonville. It's kind of like right in between, like a little triangle. Here's Mills River, there's Asheville, there's Hendersonville. So it's close to both. Great schools, great school districts, from what I heard from my friends and people who live there. I wouldn't call Hendersonville or Flat Rock as up and coming. Meaning, I don't think well, you can find a deal, right? But they're not up and coming. In fact, Hendersonville, Flat Rock, Henderson County in general is favorite for wealthy retirees to come from all over the United States and stay there, retire there. So it's not necessarily the most affordable. I mean, it's going to be cheaper than Asheville, right? But it's not necessarily, I wouldn't call it the most affordable or up and coming.
People have been retiring there for hundreds of years now.
Right. So, up and coming, I would say
Etowah,
maybe
maybe?
Etowah.
Yeah.
It's also in Henderson County. It doesn't have downtown. It's, again, kind of like Barnardsville, right? You drive through, you wouldn't even know that you're in Etowah. Etowah, or what's that other place? Etowah, another one in Henderson County, but not directly in Hendersonville, maybe, because there's a lot of, there's a good number of, I would say, upscale communities in Hendersonville. And what does that tell you? Average price range, is kind of, it's not going to be that affordable. So it's not, as far as the smart move or smart buy, I would go maybe, I think, west of Asheville, Candler towards Canton. And I know Canton has a lot of bad rep because of that mill,
the paper mill.
The paper mill. But you can get, that's definitely going to be a smart buy if you're talking about investment. I feel like more people are moving west, Leicester, those areas. Hot Springs, I think it's going to be 20 years from now, it's going to be a lot more populated, but more, down up Leicester, Sandy Mush. Leicester, I think, is going to blow up.
Leicester's already blowing up.
Right, but they are building that 4-lane highway, or they expanding the road. So I think it's gonna yeah, there's more to come there. And those towns like Marshall and Mars Hill, I think those would be really smart buys right now. Would you agree? Yeah. They already, see growth, not as rapid as Asheville, but up and coming. What else is up and coming? Swannanoa, maybe, east of Asheville, which is, Swannanoa is between Asheville and Black Mountain. Skip the Black Mountain and then go to Old Fort or Marion. Excuse me. I think those areas are up and coming.
Old Fort for sure.
Old Fort for sure, because up until a couple years ago, it was a dry town. Old Fort was a dry town, which is 40 minutes from Asheville? Dry town.
But it's so close to Black Mountain, and now it's almost impossible, because Black Mountain's so small, to find property in Black Mountain.
Oh yeah,
and it's an adorable town.
Black Mountain, you don't buy a lot for your money in Black Mountain. That's why I said skip Black Mountain and keep going east, and Old Fort would be the next stop. It's definitely up and coming. I hope we answered that question. We're looking for a nice park. Well, message us separately and we can talk more about that. I live in Barnardsville and love it. Lots of hippies, old timers, and kind and hard-working people. Glad it's so close to Weaverville, but still out of. Yes, I mean, yeah, Barnardsville, yeah. Everyone, like I mentioned in my video, a lot of Asheville type people, like, hippies and stuff like that. Asheville is so freaking expensive. People are moving out. Besides, a lot of people want to be independent in a way that they want to grow their produce and stuff like that. And so you can get more for your money, get more land in places like Barnardsville and places like that. And when you're looking for land, you might not even necessarily realize that your search is set up for Barnardsville, because it's going to be within the same county, which that's what we recommend, looking by the whole county, not by town. I live in thank you. I also buy a home that needs complete rehab. Well, a lot of people, yes. I mean, especially these right now, everyone wants a deal, right? And I have few clients who also want to find something that they can flip. Well, a lot of other people are looking for that too. Not unfortunately. I mean, those deals are out there, right? And you got to be able to jump on it quickly, identify, the kind of estimate the cost of the flip and stuff like that. This still, the market, even though it shifted, it still favors sellers. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I know a lot of buyers. I have a lot of clients who are waiting for the market to cool down, for the prices to go down. But what are we seeing? We're seeing multiple offers still. And yeah, it's supply and demand nationally, and in our area specifically, supply is super low, demand is still higher than the supply. So that's the problem. Thank you for advice. Do you know about this place? What is this? Erastus? What is this? Erastus. 𝕊𝕠𝕟. Do you know about 𝕊𝕠𝕟? Mm-hmm. Is that like close to Spruce Pine? Yes, Scott, contact us privately. All right, so moving up north and more east, which for you, I guess, watching this will be this way, east. As soon as you hit that exit 9, you turn right and go towards Burnsville. There's really not a whole lot going on. I mean, there's houses and communities, but to hit this Burnsville center, it's about from the exit. I mean, from the exit, it's not too far, but like 20 minutes.
From my house in Weaverville, it takes me 30 minutes to be in the town square of Burnsville.
Yeah. But so from the exit, it's about, I would say, 20 minutes, depending on how fast you drive, right. Which again,
don't go too fast. There are two cops that like to work in tandem together, pulling people.
Told you. But going up, it's kind of hard to go fast because you go up the mountain and it's like, oh, you go like this almost, but it's a beautiful ride. So Burnsville is next. What do we have? Do you have any recommendations for Burnsville dining?
Dining in Burnsville. Well, I tend to always go to 𝕊𝕍𝕍𝕍. Amazing coffee, great breakfast. Some of the local people bring in fresh pastries. And then they also do a great lunch. They also have a new place that I haven't gotten to go yet. That's called Home Place Beer Company. And so it's a brewery and a brick oven pizza place in the same. It's brand new. It's really beautiful. There's big inside and outside in there. And Garden Deli, which is right in the town square. That's been there forever. And, you know, it's one of those that's always known to be good.
Yeah. So I think Burnsville is going to be growing even more. Right now, I mean, yes, there are some, like Michelle mentioned, some of those places, local places that I think they're the best. I mean, we are getting, you know, we became food snobs here because we're spoiled. Everything is local, not just local, but farm to table, fresh eggs, fresh butter, fresh homemade jam and stuff like that. But Burnsville, I think, is going to grow right now. And that's one of the comments that somebody made to me, that they were surprised that Burnsville does not have any bars like where you would have drinks. There are some breweries or places to get a beer, but not any bars. And I was like, well, I think it's because there's no demand. I'm sure somebody tried it and it was just, it was not probably a very lucrative business at the time.
Burnsville is a very conservative town. It's the one that looks like you've just driven into Mayberry. And one of the positives to it is, you know, for kids, it's one of the last places that I've ever seen where at Halloween, all the kids dress up, all the store front people come out and we give candy out, and kids will come up and down the streets in their costumes, and there's a local ice cream shop and kids will line blocks down the road because on Halloween in costume, they get a free scoop of ice cream. So they love it. So it's one of those. They're getting ready to, this May, they're starting a new festival that I'm dying to go see. It's called the Thomas Wolfe Festival. So it's obviously going to be about dogs, but I don't know much more than that, you know, because, you know, even with Halloween, everybody dresses their dogs up in costumes and brings them to go up and down and trick or treat. So we're a very dog, you know, centric area in
Right.
general.
Well, yes, Asheville too. I mean,
We have the only doggy welcome center.
do we?
Yes.
Where?
At the beginning of Asheville.
Oh, gosh.
When you're coming in from Hendersonville, there is a doggy welcome center.
See, yeah, and I know Asheville, a lot of restaurants are dog friendly. A lot of restaurants in downtown would have, some water outside for the dogs. So it's really dog friendly.
A lot of restaurants have doggy menus so that when you come and eat your dinner on the patio, you can order something for your dog.
So that your dog can become a food snob as well.
That's correct. That's correct.
Burnsville, it's very, like you said, it's very conservative, right? It's a smaller town. It's also sometimes you feel like the time just stopped.
Yeah,
somewhere back in the, I don't know, last 2 centuries, but
it's great for being outdoorsy though, because you're at the base of Mount Mitchell. You've got the South Toe River right there, so many people come to go tubing and fly fishing and all of those. Not to mention, the hiking. Of course, you can hike all over the place around here. So,
but Burnsville has, I think, it's one of a kind communities, and it's in Burnsville, called Mountain Air. It's kind of interesting that Burnsville is very kind of stuck in place, or stuck in time type of place, and then there's the Mountain Air, very upscale community. It's a gated community, one of a kind in the area. I don't think there are any other communities in the whole Western North Carolina like that.
No, it has its own airstrip.
So if you have a plane and you want to park it at your place, you can live there. It's kind of expensive to live there because they have all these amenities. Although just to live there, HOA fees do not get you really anything. They get you the gate security, the street lights, and just free trails to hike on. And it's because it sits on top of the mountain or on the side of the mountain. There's a lot of hiking trails there. And then they have, I think, 3 or 4 tiers of club membership, and the last one will have everything included in that strip. But it's pricey to live there. I remember there were some some condos for sale. You can buy a condo for $100,000 in Burnsville. You know why? And it was for sale for like 3 years, I think. Nobody would buy it for $100,000 because HOA fees were $800 a month. And those HOA fees do not get you into the pool, do not get you into anything. The clubhouse, none. Just the gate, security and all that. So it's an interesting place, but obviously you need to be more or less wealthy to be able to live there. It is located at 5,000 feet above sea level. So Asheville is 22, 23, somewhere around that. That one is at 5,000. So when we had a tour back, in a few years ago, we were told that people like from Atlanta and Charlotte have second homes there so that they can come and visit and have some snow when it snows. Because when we have probably just the chance of snow here in Asheville, they for sure probably have snow up on top of the mountain. Even in summertime, it was cooler. I mean, I don't know. Pool membership might not be what sells in that community because it was cool. Okay, Big Pine near Marshall. That's again, it's probably just, I don't even know Big Pine.
Yeah, I'm not positive either.
It's probably one of the villages. It's a little town that's so tiny you wouldn't even know that you're driving through it.
Now they are getting ready to build 3 new communities in Marshall that are waiting to get approved, just because there's been a changing of the guard with the committee, which is the reason it was delayed. But one's going to be a 54 home community. One is going to be 34, and one is going to be 13 homes.
Yeah. Again, you drive through some of these towns and it's on one hand, it might seem like they're not very, they're not luxury type of towns or anything like that, because you see trailer parks or trailers or just regular farms and stuff like that. But there are some upscale communities in those areas, because people who have, who can afford to live in the more upscale areas sometimes also choose to be left alone and not have to deal with Asheville's BS. I mean, and Asheville is pretty close. You can just hop in the car and drive to a restaurant in Asheville if you choose so. So, and yeah, those areas are growing. So that's good to hear. I'm sure locals probably, or natives, are not going to be too happy about that. But that's just the nature of.
They're expecting another 5,000 people to move to Madison County, and they're projecting in like the next year.
Wow, 5,000?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, and that's Madison County. But you also have to think, Madison County is the one that got fiber, so you've got these beautiful views, secluded homes. And you're up on a mountain, and then you actually have fiber internet, and that's really only in Marshall and Morse Hill
and Burnsville.
I don't think so.
Burnsville has fiber.
I don't know. They didn't get the grant that Madison County got.
Okay, maybe. Well, so Burnsville is in a different county too. It's Yancey County, and now we moved to a different county, by the way. But Burnsville, a lot of houses has fiber as well.
Well, and what happened, which is why I got fiber, yay. What happened, because I'm so close to Madison County, was in 2021, they got a $10 million grant to run fiber. And then they just got another $46 million, like just got it, to help with the power grid and more fiber for Madison County at a low interest loan for them, to try and get to these people, because they're expecting, like I said, another 5,000.
Yeah. So they're geared for growth.
Yeah, they are gearing for it.
I mean, just like the whole area in general, only Asheville is getting saturated, and cost of living is a lot higher. Plus, you can only do so much in Asheville because of the terrain. You can't build a huge neighborhood or subdivision in Asheville like you can, like maybe in Phoenix. When I visited Phoenix, I drive, and there's this, I mean, as far as the eyes could see, there's rows of houses being built. I was like, we don't even have that much land in the Asheville area. A lot of flat land, and mountains are hard and expensive to develop in the big scale. What place creeps you out, Jake? Sorry, was it Burnsville? And if you keep going, just keep following that same road that took you to Burnsville, you will get to Spruce Pine. Have you been to Spruce Pine? I showed houses there. I mentioned in the video that it's I was gonna say gold mining. It's a, what is it, mineral and gem mining little town. It's big on that. Oops, sorry. Any insight on the?
I feel like Jake about Spruce Pine.
Oh, about Spruce Pine?
Yeah. It's not my favorite place to go.
Why? Say it how it is without getting us in trouble as agents, okay? That's what we're here for.
It's a very my experience. Let's go ahead and say that. My experience is it's a very closed-minded town. The people are not friendly. I actually was showing a house there, and the realtor taped the key to the house to the front window of the office. All I could think was, if I was 16 and knew what houses were up for sale, the parties I would have had. So,
Okay, so this is not exclusive to Spruce Pine. I've had several different occasions where, like in Burnsville, in Yancey County in general, where sellers do not want to have any for sale signs in their yard, because I guess they don't want neighbors to know that they're selling a house. And yes, I had to drive to the listing agent's office to get the key to the house.
Yes, but did they tape it to their front window?
No.
The front window of the realtor's office taped it to the front window.
So that's next level.
Yeah, that was about.
So that's a pain.
Right.
I guess they're more. In other words, you can say that they are more protective of their community. They're very, really close knit. Like, to earn their trust and to become their friend, you really have to. You can't just show up there and say, well, this is me, this is what I like, I don't like what you do, I like how I do it. You better, it takes time with them. But
they have a Walmart. so people in Burnsville and Bakersville will go there to go to the Walmart. But at the same time, I'd rather back up and go to Bakersville because Bakersville is a cute little town. But,
where's Bakersville?
Bakersville is kind of, here's Burnsville, here's Spruce Pine. It's in the middle, but a little further north.
Where's Green Mountain?
Same. It's still technically Burnsville, but north.
Yeah. So those other towns, Bakersville, Green Mountain, they don't have downtowns.
No, Bakersville has a little downtown,
little center?
Tiny, like it kind of like Marshall, but really cute. The houses I'd been to were always going through Burnsville because that's where I'm coming from. So I didn't realize it. And it's also, if you're in that little town, it's also quick for them to either go to Burnsville or go to Spruce Pine.
Okay.
So if you needed to be close to a Walmart, you could be in Bakersville.
But yeah, I also heard a lot of people who live in Burnsville or Yancey County go to Johnson City, Tennessee to shop. I think they have Sam's Club there in Johnson City, but they go there. I heard that from many people. They go to Johnson City. So, I guess maybe Johnson City is more like kind of on the same frequency, same vibe with Burnsville. It's not like Asheville. Coming to Asheville, like I know a lot of people, not just in Burnsville or other towns around Asheville, who just not want to go to Asheville. You cannot pay them enough to go to Asheville. They hate Asheville.
It's too city for them.
It's too city for them, and it's too how do you say it? Funky?
Liberal?
Too liberal. Yes, too liberal, but it's downtown, they can't stand downtown because there's no telling what you can see in downtown Asheville.
True. That is true.
It is. And a lot of people don't like it. So that's why I think people from Burnsville and Spruce Pine, they go to Johnson City to shop, to go to like Sam's Club and places like that, but instead of Asheville. Hot topic. Green Mountain is where my granddaughter lives. Yeah. I love I love going to Burnsville because it's so beautiful. It feels more spacious. It's kind of like going to Mills River. 4-lane highway. It's not congested. It's more spread out. It just, everywhere you look, it's beautiful. Yeah. Pastures, cows. It's like you want to just take pictures along the way.
Yeah.
Just don't get too caught up with that. If you are coming to visit with not with the tourist eyes, but with eyes of potentially maybe living in one of those areas, just kind of, keep in mind it's opposite of Asheville in many ways. Yep. Mama Sparlings, you agree with us on the on the Burnsville, Spruce Pine areas? Whenever I visit Spruce Pine, I try, if I have time, if I don't have to pick up my kids in time, I go through Parkway and go to Asheville through Parkway. But there's another town that doesn't have, I don't think it has downtown. That's what I said in the video. Little Switzerland.
No, it's got like a cluster of like shops and restaurants, but that's about it.
They have this resort that looks like Little Switzerland. Yeah. Those little buildings, they are built and like they are from like old European buildings. I think they are closed right now. They probably will open up back in, I don't know, April or something like that when it's warm. They close for winter, but it's super beautiful there.
Yeah.
Is that as far as it would go to for business?
Yeah, northwise, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And going, past Black Mountain, I've gone as far as Morganton, because I have in-laws that live there, and it's a cute town, and it's an easy ride.
Right. Well, and Morganton, it's one of those places where you can get, I think it's easier to get to Morganton from Asheville, going like past Black Mountain.
Yeah, that's how I go.
Definitely not through Burnsville.
No.
I mean, unless you're making a day trip out of it, you can go that way. Excuse me. Sorry. What else? Any other questions? Hit us up while we're here. Anything about the area? So do you feel like Spruce Pine is more different? Is different from Burnsville?
Yes. Burnsville's much cuter.
But like as far as people, you said they're not friendly in Spruce Pine.
That has been my experience. I like Burnsville. I like the people I've met in Burnsville. And yeah, I'm a little more liberal minded, but everybody in Burnsville that I've ever met has just been friendly. Yeah. They want to be neighborly, and they want to say hello, and they want to tell you about their town. They want you to be here and enjoy it. You could ask them, where would you go to fly fish? They'll tell you. I don't know that you'd get that kind of response in Spruce Pine.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience.
My 2 cents.
Your 2 cents, yeah. I think, again, yeah, they're more protective of what they have there, of their community, and they put their guard up when they see an outsider, especially somebody like me. I show up with my accent. Sorry. So yeah. All right. I think, do you have anything else to throw in, to add to our discussion? I think we covered a lot. Again, you have our contact information. Michelle, tell us your phone number again. People, if you want to hit Michelle up directly, this is your chance. This is her phone number, direct phone number, and she'll be happy to help.
It is 828-365-6500. And you can call or text me.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Well, anybody can add more questions to the comments. Reach out directly if you're not comfortable posting any questions, or if it's, if you want to discuss some bigger things or more things, we'll be happy to help.
Yeah, there's so many things about this area.
Yeah, so many things, so many, nuances, and so many different towns that it's, if you look at the map and you're thinking, oh, what's this, what's that? So we kind of covered the biggest ones, kind of like hubs. And then again, you wouldn't even know that you are in Green Mountain right now, or some other little place. It's not going to be that obvious if you drive around. So thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. Once this video processed and is up on the page, I'm going to add few more resources in the description of the video, so you can come back and check it out. Stay tuned for more videos coming up. I have some new projects, different type of content that I've never done before, hopefully in a week. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time. Thank you.